This one, stick with me. Stick to the end. I promise it's worth it. Today's sober secret comes to us from an old European story. The whole thing become a constant messenger of good news. Focus on the good. Here's the story. It was in the rural parts somewhere in Europe. I don't know. So somewhere in the greens. The hills are alive with the sound of music. I don't know if that's where it was, but you get the idea now that I painted that horrendous little picture of me singing. So the horse got loose. The neighbors come over and say, "Oh my gosh, I heard the bad news that your horse ran away. I'm so sorry to hear." And the owner goes, "Well, I don't know, maybe good news, maybe bad news, I don't know." Next day, the horse comes back and actually has, I think, like 6 or 7 stallions with them. The neighbor runs over, "Oh my gosh, I heard your horse came back and brought back 6 and 7 stallions. You now have more horses. This is wonderful news." And the farmer says, "Well, I don't know. Maybe good news, maybe bad news. I don't know." Day 3, it's a crazy week for this guy. Day 3, the horses actually trample the son and break the son's arm and leg. Nosy neighbor, right? Neighbor runs over and says, "Oh my gosh, I just heard about your son with his arm broken, a leg broken because of all these horses. What terrible news, I'm so sorry." What does the farmer say? "You got it right. I don't know, maybe good news, maybe bad news." Finally, day 4, this regime comes through. The government is pulling all the young men and saying, "We're going to war, we have to fight." They pass over him because of the injuries. He can't fight, so he stayed at home. The neighbor comes over and says, "Oh my gosh, I heard the wonderful news that your son got passed up and doesn't have to go to war." The farmer says, "I don't know, maybe good news, maybe bad news." Here's the point. It's not the story, but it's the meaning we attach. If we can convince ourselves to be continual stokers of good news, to have constant messengers of good news, it's incredible. Now in that, most people would say in that story, well, 2 things were good news and 2 things were bad news. Because this farmer's kind of thinking, well, I don't know if it's good or bad. I want to go a step further. And now by understanding, hey, here is one of the possible outcomes, horse running away might bring more. This actually is great news. If you remember this comes from one of the other sober secrets. See the problem as it really is and then see it better than it is. See how all this ties in together? It's incredible. It's all circular. Everything builds on each other. If I become a constant messenger of good news, I start to see the world different. I attach different meanings. And if you remember from one of the other videos, the meaning I attach to it equals the emotion that I feel. The emotion that I feel equals the quality of life according to me and what I feel and experience. So be a constant messenger of good news. That's today's sober secret.
Click like below, share with 2 people who you know need to hear this right now, and leave a comment with the next topic you want to see in Sober Secret.